Do you have a problem with McGregor's actions?
Well, sure. I think Conor knows he can't do that. You can't take someone's property and destroy it, and I wouldn't advocate violence. I will say this. As a society, I think right now, we're figuring out how to negotiate new technology and the impact it's having on existing freedoms, right? So what do I mean by that? Do you have a right to walk in a public place? Are you entitled to any kind of privacy at all? Like, we talk about kind of the government as big brother or one of these social media companies, Facebook or something, and we're being monitored constantly, and people don't like that,
gross.
right? And as a public figure, I understand that if you're in public, sometimes the line is drawn at families. Don't take a picture of the person's family. But if they're a public figure, they're really not entitled to privacy in public. But all these ideas were really formed before everyone on Earth had not only a camera, but a video recorder in their pocket. Everyone on Earth. So, Stephen A., you've experienced this, I've experienced this, and Conor McGregor just experienced it coming out of the club at 5 in the morning, right? Like, I really don't want to be recorded right now. And is he not so while I wouldn't advocate, obviously, this is a kind of form of violence, so it didn't hurt the person who destroyed their property, he should be in trouble for it, he apologized for it. But I understand why he's saying, I don't want to be video recorded or otherwise recorded at this moment by you. Please don't do that. If the person does that, I wouldn't be shocked, were I that person, if I found my recording device confiscated and destroyed. I mean, that's the way people react to that on a kind of human level.
You're right. But it's completely and utterly irrelevant. You don't get to do that if you're Conor McGregor. Simple as that. You don't have a right to confiscate some man's phone and slam it. Now, is this overblown in terms of cameras being outside like it's paparazzi because he beat up somebody in a club or something? Of course it is. He grabbed the man's phone and he slammed it down. The man probably called the police because why should I have to pay for my new phone? You should pay for it, and I'm not going to be able to get you to do that unless I file charges for you. You're Conor McGregor. It's disgusting sometimes being in the public eye because people don't know how to act. It doesn't make any sense. Half the time you're just looking at people like, what the hell, do you not have a life? My God, get it together. A picture, is it always necessary to film me, to videotape me, to give me pictures? I have this problem and I'm not Conor McGregor. Having said all of that, here's my thing that I peel from this, Max. Conor McGregor is really getting on my damn nerves. I'm really getting sick and tired of him being in the news for something other than winning in the UFC octagon ring. That's what I'm getting tired of. The last time it's been years since we've seen Conor McGregor actually win a fight. We saw him in the news for throwing a dolly at the bus. We saw him in the news for this. We see him at the press conference, but when he had to step into the octagon against Nurmagomedov, we saw what happened to him. That was a butt whipping now. We saw him in the ring trying to box against Floyd Mayweather. We saw what happened to him there. Last time we saw Conor McGregor win to be this tough guy. And I love Conor McGregor. I love his mouth. I love how he tries to back it up. I love the fact that he's a showman. He's worth the money. He's worth the price of admission. I'm not trying to disrespect him. I'm simply trying to remind Conor McGregor, what made you those millions? It wasn't just your mouth. It wasn't just your attitude. It was the fact that you backed it up. And the fact is, he's not backing it up these days. How many years, Max, since that event at Madison Square Garden? Who did he knock out? Alvarez in the second round with a 4-punch combination?
I'd have to look at the date.
I think it was Alvarez, okay? I think it was November of 15.
2 years ago, or more.
It might have been more because he fought Mayweather.
Listen, if you want to stay undefeated, don't box Floyd Mayweather, especially if you're not a boxer.
That's right.
And stay out of the octagon with Nurmagomedov. I told you he was coming. Nurmagomedov was coming.
What a monster.
Look,
what a monster.
Look, yes, the interest in Conor McGregor is rooted in his success in the octagon.
Yes.
I think his orbit has kind of escaped
the octagon. He backs up what he says.
Because he's now a major celebrity. He has backed what he said. And what you brought up is much more exciting, but I want to bring it back to the idea of these phones and stuff just for a second.
Laws.
You know, originally, when cars started to become mass-produced, there was all the onus was on the drivers of the cars, right? Like, you better never hit a pedestrian. If 1,000 pedestrians are walking by. Eventually, the car industry started pumping money into this idea of jaywalking and started changing laws, basically, pumping money into our politics so that the laws would change, so that actually pedestrians had to watch it too. Everyone kind of had a right of way at different times. In other words, new technology comes, the world changes, and then the way things were set up gets changed a little bit to accommodate the new technology. And we have to negotiate what we consider our own personal freedom with this new technology, how it has an impact on it. And I am saying what this brings to mind for me is I don't know that we can just persist as a society with this idea that anyone can record anyone they want in a
put
public
you on
space
the internet.
at any time. Yes,
It's not even like you're just showing your friends.
even in a public space, I think people are entitled to a certain degree of privacy.
I totally agree.
Yeah, like how about when you're in a bathing suit and at a
I
pool?
totally
It's so
agree,
ridiculous.
but we don't have it, and I don't see that changing in a public setting.
Word. And Conor got to win a fight pretty soon.
He got to win a fight, man.
I agree.
All right.
He got to
He
win a
gotta go.
fight.
He
I
can
mean,
fight.
come on. He
Conor
got to
can
win.
fight.
Okay,
He
Yes,
he
he
remains
can.
the
But he got to
biggest
win.
name.